The alleged kidnapping involved pit stops at a farm in Poolsville, a sit-down restaurant, and a Hilton hotel. Most of these 7-Elevens have these floor-to-ceiling windows with metal supports. This woman was just trying to get inside of this home to get away from these 5 dogs. This is the main entrance to the tunnel work site. That tunnel about 40 feet below us. Well, that smack prompted the driver of the Jeep to stop, get out, and then came the slap to the face. Now, investigators say a camera inside of this ATM captured Mark Kiriakou get out of his car and lift up his shirt. The video, however, does not show a gun. Yeah, so these woodchucks are looking for people primarily in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. They focus on wealthy communities. Bethesda, Potomac, McLean are all hotbeds. The Montgomery County police officer who collected that vial as evidence later fell very ill and was taken to the hospital. This is the trailer that the Amtrak train hit last night. You can see mud on the bottom, a bunch of mangled metal. It is still too early to know an exact cost, though fire officials acknowledge the damage is significant. There are a lot of unanswered questions as to how this happened. Chief among them, who made the initial report of an active shooter and why?
ABC 7 News at 6. On your side.
As we come on the air at 6 o'clock, we can tell you that more than 800 chickens, ducks, and geese that were living in filth have been euthanized.
That's right. This at a Dickerson, Maryland poultry farm, which was selling meat and eggs. Montgomery County reporter Kevin Lewis live there now with the story you'll see only on 7.
And Allison, both Maryland and the federal government require a license for slaughtering animals, but authorities say this property named Happy Farm was running rogue.
Today, Maryland animal control officers euthanized more than 100 chickens at this Dickerson, Maryland poultry farm. The flock allegedly overcome by highly contagious diseases, including avian infectious bronchitis virus. Research shows it does not impact humans, but can be deadly among certain birds.
They're reluctant to move around, and they're very depressed. They stop eating and drinking, producing eggs.
That's normal. I think that's normal.
Happy Farm owner J.J. Fang now facing 11 years in prison. The husband and father had more than 800 chickens, ducks, and geese in total. Investigators say the birds lived in squalor, some resorting to cannibalism and licking blood off the coop floor.
Were you aware that some of these animals had highly contagious diseases on your farm?
I don't know.
You were not aware, or you don't know the answer?
I have no answer.
Happy Farm has a 4.7 rating on Google. One customer writing, highly recommend if you want a healthy and tasty meal. The property under state-ordered quarantine this evening.
Do you think you're going to end up in jail?
No, of course not.
How come?
Because I don't think, I'm guilty.
Now, investigators haven't determined who Happy Farms was selling to, but they're concerned it included restaurants. Again, there is no impact on human health. This is more of a nasty factor. We're live in Dickerson, Maryland. I'm Kevin Lewis, ABC 7 News.
It's tough to watch, but that's a school fight, and it left a student in intensive care with a fractured skull and a blood clot. Tonight, ABC 7 has learned it wasn't school officials that called 911, but it was actually the boy's parents hours later. As Montgomery County reporter Kevin Lewis found, that appears to go against the school's own policies.
This binding contract signed by MCPS and local law enforcement leaders has a section called Information Sharing and Investigations. It lists a handful of critical incidents, including this, a physical attack on another that requires medical attention outside of the school health room. The document explains the school must report all critical incidents, quote, as soon as practicable, and by direct communication with the SRO or to the Public Safety Communications Center, 911. But Montgomery County Police tell us that never happened Tuesday after this fight at Magruder High School in Durwood, which left Shane Van Dyken's son in the ICU with a fractured skull and a blood clot in his head.
They told his mother, oh, your son's puking. I think you need to take him to the emergency room. They didn't call an ambulance. They didn't call nobody.
In fact, Van Dyken was left calling police at 2:14 p.m. ABC 7's obtained the dispatch audio.
This actually occurred at 11:45. However, the victim is the complaint. currently in the hospital at Children's. The father is on scene warning police.
We asked MCPS for on-camera interviews with Superintendent Jack Smith and/or Magruder Principal Leroy Evans. Both said they were not available.
All right, Kevin is joining us from outside Magruder High School. And Kevin, school leaders wouldn't talk on camera. Are they saying anything at all about their response or lack thereof?
Yes, by email, they strongly contend that this was a fight and not an assault. But Jonathan, 3 of my police sources tell me that if this altercation happened anywhere else, it would have been documented as an assault. End of story. Jonathan?
All right, Kevin Lewis in Durwood tonight. Kevin, thank you for that.
It's a part of our life that is gone.
This holiday season,
Ornaments going back to when we first got her, and
alligators still adorn Dave Green's Christmas tree, but the living reptile that once nestled below it is gone.
I'm concerned that she's concerned.
Green purchased the gator online around 2005 and named her Blackbeard.
She was about this big. Her head was about as big as my thumb. I just wanted her to have her own place.
Blackbeard considered this basement bathtub her den space.
You want to watch the Redskins game?
But had free range in Green's 3-level Montgomery Village home.
It would be normal to watch the local news and have Blackbeard sitting right here, petting her head, rubbing her back, tickling her belly. That was almost every single night.
Blackbeard brought joy to neighborhood kids, loved basking by the fireplace, and even inspired Green to develop a line of sports armor called Rep Style. The PR executive would occasionally drive her to his office in downtown D.C., too.
The entire building got excited.
Blackbeard pictured here at a Halloween party, part of a Game of Thrones costume, a pumpkin carved for her as well.
The police are just doing their jobs. The law is the law.
Green does not resent animal control, but hopes an exception can be made.
They say a dog is a man's best friend. An alligator was this man's best friend.
In Montgomery Village, I'm Kevin Lewis, ABC 7.
Students at Northwest High School in Germantown credit a math teacher's vocal cords for helping them earn better grades. In tonight's Spotlight on Education, Montgomery County reporter Kevin Lewis explains whether it's algebra or geometry, Mr. Hall has a song to sing.
Often dull and intimidating. Numbers are all around us.
X squared plus y squared equals r squared. Write it down.
But at Northwest High School in Germantown,
Sine is y over r, tangent is y over x.
paraeducator Harold Hall has fused music with mathematics.
I love math. That was my favorite subject.
Hall, who graduated from Northwest in 2002, crafted his catchy jingles based on his own childhood memories.
I grew up listening to Sesame Street, the ABC. Those things, even at my age, it still resonates.
Cosine is x over r.
This cell phone video, later posted to Twitter, captured smiles on teenage faces.
Yes, it may seem a little funny at times, a little silly, but it works.
And it just makes it easier.
Just ask 12th graders Deanna Frazier
Math was never my favorite.
and Star Smith, who explained Mr. Hall's alternative lesson plan
It's either quadratic or linear because it comes.
helped them on a recent exam.
As soon as I got the paper, I took my pencil and I wrote it down real fast before I forgot. And the rest of the test, it was just there to help me.
X squared plus y squared equals r squared. Write it down.
Hall is now busy composing his 4th beat. The topic, geometry.
And that's the main thing. As long as you're able to retain the information and apply it, mission accomplished on my part.
In Germantown,
X squared
I'm Kevin Lewis,
plus y squared equals r squared. Write it down.
ABC 7 News.
Sex with grown men, multiple suicide attempts, and 2 near-fatal drug overdoses. A local high schooler explains it's all part of her life story because of opioids.
And if you're a parent, this is absolutely terrifying. And now that teen is sober and no longer teaching class. She recently sat down with Montgomery County reporter Kevin Lewis to explain why drugs do not discriminate.
I loved opiates. Heroin was my first love.
She's 16.
I shot up every day, like multiple times a day.
And telling all about her relationship with drugs, her identity hidden for obvious reasons.
It can happen to anyone.
We can, however, tell you she's from an upper middle class Montgomery County neighborhood. Her parents
happily married.
I mean, I snorted a line of OxyContin in the middle of lunch when everyone was around, right off the floor in front of everyone.
In Montgomery County Public Schools.
In my high school last year.
Here she is smoking meth while skipping class, and on another day, shooting up heroin in her bedroom before bed. By the age of 15, she'd experimented with 33 different drugs.
PCP, crack, cocaine, morphine, heroin, fentanyl, Dilaudid, OxyContin, LSD, DMT, mushrooms, Xanax, Adderall, methamphetamine.
A lack of money and a swelling addiction led two men.
I actually posted an ad online with my exact words, "We'll for dope."
That arrangement thrusted this then high school freshman into a routine of sleeping with men in used cars, dodgy area motels, and even a patch of woods. Armed with evidence, including text messages, Montgomery County Police recently arrested these three individuals on accusations they supplied the girl heroin for sex. According to court records, Kevin Burdett, who's engaged with a young son, admitted to the crime, claiming he too was strung out on drugs. The other men, Antonio Gillum and David Knox, have maintained their innocence.
She's 15. What does she know?
This mother, who once fretted about her daughter's GPA, now focuses on daily survival.
My heart is bleeding so much that I can't even react anymore.
The family savings drained on rehab centers and hospital bills.
Never did we imagine that she would choose a path of heroin.
Yet this teen is now 4 months sober with dogged determination.
Do you feel lucky to be alive?
Yeah, I had 3 suicide attempts and I had 2 overdoses where I did lose my life and they did bring me back. And then once I finally realized that I didn't have to live that way anymore, it was such a relief.
In Montgomery County, I'm Kevin Lewis, ABC 7 News.
Wow, 4 months sober. Congratulations on that front. Great to hear that she's regaining control of her life, but it's also eye-opening for many parents. She said she was shooting
15.
up in her bedroom.
And there's so many parents out there that are dealing with teens or tweens that are having to deal with these issues, and maybe they don't know how to deal with it. Maybe they suspect something's going on, maybe a mood change or something. Look, if you suspect that somebody you love does need help with an addiction, we do encourage you to reach out to the Addiction Resource Center. The number's on your screen. It's 833-301-HELP. Counselors are available 24/7. If you have some questions, they've got some answers for you. It is a very difficult topic. As a parent, I can tell you this is not an easy one to talk to, but you've got to talk about it because you potentially could save a life.
Important resource.